everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is LaShawn, your favorite HR lady. Have you experienced the feeling of self-doubt, some form of stress, anxiety, disassociating or disconnecting yourself when it comes to interviewing? I know I have. And this is called interview trauma. Yes, you can experience interview trauma when it comes to applying to a large number of uh, companies. And when it comes to completing those interviews, you are not receiving that job offer. I remember having this interview about an hour out. And on my way to the interview, I remember this feeling of worry and anxiety rushing over me because of my previous experiences when it came to interviewing and not getting the job offer. This was my final round interview, and I just knew that in my mind, like, I'm like, oh, yes, I'm excited, I'm motivated, I'm going to get this job. How can I not? When it comes to my apparel, when it comes to being note ready, because again, I love taking notes throughout the interview, especially when I'm asking the questions, so that way I can refer back to, oh, if I get the job, hey, I remember we touched on X, Y, and Z throughout the interview. Or also in my second round interview, hey, I remember in my second round interview we touched on X, Y, and Z, so I would like to ask you questions regarding this. And so that's kind of helped me throughout my journey of interviewing. But back to the story. I just remember having this worry and this feeling of anxiety and this self doubt that I would not get this position. And and in my mind, I'm like, this worry is coming from previous experiences, and that's because I've made it to second rounds or final rounds, and either I've gotten ghosted or I didn't get the position. And with those worries, it came back. I'm in a car, like, man, I have to get this job. I have a lot riding on this job. I have to get it. And trying to pump myself back up and being motivated, because I knew I had the motivation, the spirit, the energy um, to bring to this interview, so that way I could complete the interview and, get it over with and get the job. Get to the interview, and my worries came rushing back. Those worries were, again, not getting the position because my gap year of not being employed, and then also my skills not being up to par because of my gap year. But again, of course, you have to, reassure the interviewer that you're doing things to keep you within your current field and keep your skills up. And so, of course, that's what I did to pretty much regain her trust within an interview, to let her know, like, hey, no, my skills haven't went anywhere. I'm ready. I'm motivated. I'm prepared. And I just remember her asking me questions, and her talking about the position, and just feeling the overwhelmingness of the interview and just going blank. My face went blank, my body went limp, and I'm just like, okay, yeah. But of course, in the interview, you still want to push through. So I still pushed through that interview. I say this to say I've experienced interview trauma, and that's one form of it. All right, you guys. So having the feeling of feeling burned out, self doubt, disconnecting yourself throughout the interview process, and a feeling a slight bit of anxiety when it comes to interviewing or dealing with interviews. Those are forms of interview traumas. And of course, I have to come to you with ways to help you when you are experiencing interview traumas. Some ways that I've learned to help deal with mine are seeking support. So that's talking to family members and my friends, really going into detail about how I'm actually feeling. So that way I could live in that moment or acknowledge those emotions, and that helps me because, again, I'm able to self-reflect and figure out ways to help recover or feel better within throughout the situation of job searching. After that, I do a lot of self care. So I love going to the gym, which is something that has motivated me throughout my process of interviewing and getting myself back and not losing myself when it comes to applying to so many jobs or just losing myself within the job interview process or the job applicant process. And then also limiting the amount of times you interview a day and also throughout the week. So you might interview like when you wait. I'm sorry, you might submit applications when you wake up early in the morning, when you go to sleep at night, and throughout the day of you being at home and just relaxing, and you just like, oh, let me pick up the phone and submit applications. So you want to limit the time you submit those applications so that way you don't consume job search and everything that you do. And again, right now, your girl, of course, is still out of work and we are going through this together. And right now, it's the holiday season. So why not give yourself that break and that needed break that you need and focus on family, being loved, and having that support around you so that way you can alleviate some of that stress and some of that anxiety and worry that you're feeling about not having a job and just living in the moment and experiencing expressing those feel good moments. So thank you again for watching this video. I hope this helped someone and touched your heart. Please like, share, and subscribe. And bye for now.